was just talk about Vietnam's war, and now I just will gonna introduce another country which is near the country that he just introduced, which is Thailand. Thailand is a silent country, so there's not much news about it. And probably you may not pay attention when you just pay attention to Thailand except when you go to eat in Thailand food restaurant or see Thai boutique store on the street. However, Thai is a country of great antiquity and culture enrichment. I did an interview with our school's Thai girl, Madmai, and she gave me some information. I also got some information online. So today I'd like to talk about Thai to people and make you guys know more about Thailand. So let's start with Thai's history. Thai has a really long history and back to prehistory times. There are two history points. One is from ancient history, other one is from modern history. Scientists have evidence show that some people migrated to Thailand a few thousand years ago. According to the report from Library of Congress, early Chinese documents record that the Thai cultivating wetland rice in valley and lowland areas. And some archaeologists found the culture was rooted in Bronze Age. Second, Thailand never been the colony of any country. When I have the interview with Madmai, and she really happy told me that Thailand never been colonized by any country. And here is why Thailand did never been colonized by any country, especially when Britain and French have crazily colonized South Asia. But during 18th century to 20th century, Thailand never been occupied. So here is Thailand, and this is Bursa, and this is Malaysia, and this is all belong to Britain during the Second War, and this is Vietnam, and it is occupied by French, but they just didn't colonize Thailand. And because they want to make Thailand become a buffer zone between them, because they don't want to fight. And second, the Thai ceded some territories to French and Britain to satisfy their lust. The long history enriched its lavish culture. Now I will talk about the Thailand's writing language and architecture and art. First, the Thai language is very interesting. Mark Post introduced some basic knowledge at academia.com, and he said there's 44 consonants and 28 vowels and 5 tongues. You can see each word of Thailand, it really looks similar, and actually their pronunciation is very similar too. There's one word is suai. When it has falling tongue, it just means bad luck. But when it have the rising tongue, when we pronounce it as suai, it means means beautiful. So now I'd like to teach people two very useful sentences when next time you visit Thailand. The first one, and I hope everyone can repeat with me. The first one is means hello. It is sawadika. Yeah, and when you say this to a girl, you can have this gesture. It means you really respect that girl. And the second one means help. I think it's really useful because Thailand doesn't have a good security conditions. So if next time you see someone is really you think she will not good to you, you can just say should I, do I? Should I, do I? Yeah, it is right. So Thailand's language has their unique style. So now I will talk about the architecture. So Thai's architecture is really unique and famous, and it's influenced by religion and the neighbor country. So first I will talk about Thailand's people's home, and this is the temple. like it really influenced by the religion. You can see both of their roof like a bow, and it is like you can see the cascadal edge here over here. You can also see that over there. And the second, they're really influenced by other countries like Chinese. There's one ethnic in China named Dai, and this is their architecture, and this is Thai's architecture. You can see both of their like first foundation has like it is higher than the ground, and actually it is also because they want to protect their home far away from the snakes and some flies. And now like I'd like to talk about one thing that is really important to people, how to know like which is like transsexual, and in Thailand we call them ladyboy. Ladyboy like it's a job in Thailand, and the people who want to be ladyboy, they have to be injected with female hormones and have breast enlargement surgery to highlight their female characteristics, and they have to start with little kids. Actually, this kind of surgery is really hard for their health, and they only have 35 to 40 years. And Mahatma have told me one interesting story is like when there's one time she's on the subway and she saw a really pretty woman, and she just bumped into that woman, and when she tried to say sorry, and that woman said, used very low song, just said, "Oh, don't worry," like just like that. Yes, the Thai culture and his history is really interesting, and many the Thai government explore some scenic sport which show people their long history and abundant culture. Like if you have more like things that want to ask me about Thailand, you can come and I will introduce some good places for visit and delicious food.